Have you ever wanted to teach your dogs a new trick? Or wanted to know how to properly introduce dogs to each other? Well, it's easy to think of dogs as our fuzzy children. We need to remember that they have their own social structure among themselves. Several of you most likely own dogs, and if you're anything like me, you want to learn how to teach them some new tricks and how to make sure that they treat other dogs well when they meet. Whenever dealing with a dog, the most important thing to remember is to be patient and to remain positive with them. Today, I will share with you a few techniques for introducing dogs to one another, how to train dogs using positive reinforcement, and how to break up fights should they occur. To start, let's talk about two dogs meeting for the first time. The first thing to keep in mind when considering having two dogs meet is where it's going to happen. The best place is going to be somewhere that neither dog considers their own territory. This means that you want to avoid your own house, the other dog's house, your yard, their yard, or anywhere that either dog goes for walks frequently. Some good places would be dog parks that they don't go to all the time, or a neighbor's yard or a neighbor's house. Once you have chosen where the meeting is going to happen, you'll want to make sure you're prepared. You want to make sure that you have some of the dog's favorite treats on hand, and you're going to want to make sure that there's at least one person for each dog that's going to be meeting. While meeting, remember to keep things positive. You want to talk to the dogs in a nice, light tone. You don't want to sound like you're scolding them or that you're commanding them when they're meeting another dog. During this part, it is important to note the signs of a dog's intentions. If their front part is down and their hind is up, that means that they're trying to play with the other dog. This is a good sign and means that hopefully they're going to get along just fine. If they start baring their teeth, growling deeply, or having their hair stand up on their backs, these are signs of aggression. If you see this, you're going to want each owner to call their dog, tell them to lay or sit down, and give them a treat for listening to them. And then you can try again in just a minute. Once you know how to have your dog meet others, it's fun to know how to teach a dog to do tricks. One of the simplest things to teach a dog to do is how to sit on command. The first thing to remember, just as with meeting other dogs, is to remain positive and to be patient. Remember, they do not know what you want, and as cute as they might be, they don't understand what you're saying. First, you want to get down on the dog's level. If you have a smaller dog, this might mean sitting down on the ground or a chair or bending down so that you're closer to their head level. You're going to take one of their favorite treats, hold it in front of their nose, and slowly bring it up until their butt is on the ground. In Max's case here, he was already sitting, but he's a good dog. As soon as he's sitting down, you release the treat into his mouth. Repeat this several times over several days until he seems to get the hang of it. Once he does have the hang of it, you're going to start pairing a command with it. As soon as his butt hits the ground, you're going to say your command, like sit, and then as soon as he listens, you're going to give him the treat again. So, Max, sit, good boy. This way, he starts learning that when you say the command and he does the action, that means good things for him. Give him scratches, give him treats, reward him handsomely. Remember not to get frustrated with your dog if he does not do what you intend for him to do, or if he just doesn't seem like he's getting it. It can take time for dogs, and remember, you need to be patient. Now that you know how to train a good behavior into a dog, it's good to know what you should do should the worst happen. Your dog gets into a fight with another dog. The best thing you can do is stop the fighting before it even happens. Remember those signs of aggression from before: bared teeth, growling, and standing hair on their back. If they start exhibiting these signs, distract the dogs and get them separated so that they won't have any issues. If you cannot stop the fight before the fight breaks out, you will want to break them up correctly. You can start just by making a loud noise, either just clapping, calling their name loudly, or just making any sort of noise. This can disrupt their thought process, basically, and keep them from engaging with the other dog. If this does not work, do not continue shouting unless you are calling for help for someone else, as this can just get them even more aggressive. If you do have two dogs that are physically fighting each other, you will want to learn how to break them up the correct way. Dogs do have sharp teeth and they do have sharp claws, so you always want to remember you want to be as careful as possible so no one gets hurt. This also means do not put your hand in your dog's mouth or the other dog's mouth, or between the two of them, as it can easily get bitten by either dog. What you're going to want to do is take the dog by the hind legs or right in front of the hind legs and pull up and back. This will help them release the other dog, and if you have another person on the other dog doing the same thing, it can help break up the fight fairly quickly. Do keep in mind that the dog is in an aggressive state at the time, and they might turn on you and try to go after you for a second. Just remember, be careful whenever you're dealing with a dog fight. Again, the best thing you can do is prevent fights from happening before they even happen. But if you cannot do this, it is important to be armed with the right knowledge so that you can safely get them out of the situation. The overall thing to take away from this is to remain calm and patient with your dogs, as well as to have a positive attitude toward them. If something does happen, just remember that the ultimate goal is to keep everyone and every dog safe. Now that we have gone through this, I hope that you can have fun teaching your dog something new. Thank you.